So it's been about 1 day since we made this wheel throne bowl. I made sure to manage its moisture. It's at the stage we call leather hard now. So it's firm enough that I can handle it without it warping, but still wet enough that I'm going to be able to do any attachments, carving, and we're going to go over trimming. So to start with, I'm going to just check the thickness just so I have a rough idea of how much clay I have to trim off. We're going to center it on the wheel head. We can use the circles as a rough guide, but I'm going to use my finger where it's close. I'm going to gently push it away until we get it right in the center. And I promise it's worth taking your time on this to do right the first time. Once that's done, we just have some scrap clay, still nice and wet. We're gonna hold this down so it doesn't move, and we're just gonna put at least 3 or 4 lugs of clay around the rim just to stick it to the wheel head. There's a couple different trimming tools still. I'm gonna start with the bigger one just to remove a large volume of clay to start with. So I'm going to keep a hand close in case this does get loose, that way I don't have my pot flying off the wheel. We're going to use the sharp side of whichever tool you are using. Nice firm pressure. If your clay is at the right stage, it should come off in nice long ribbons like this. If your clay is too dry, it's going to make a lot of dust or very, very small pieces. That's just not great for you or the studio environment to have that much dust flying around. So the overall goal of this is still, just like throwing, we want to have the inside curve match the outside curve for nice even walls. And at any time if you're questioning or forget where a thick spot was, you can always pop it off, go back in and check the thickness. I'm going to take my needle tool and I'm going to make a mark on the inside of the foot just so I have a rough guide so I don't accidentally trim off too much clay. I'm going to mark the outside of my foot ring as well. I'm being really careful here on the bottom. I know I have a thin spot in the center, so I'm not putting very much pressure. It's a little bit higher here and lower down here. It's trying to mimic the curve that I made when I threw this bowl. You can use a trimming tool. You could use a damp sponge or a finger, and I'm just going to round off any sharp edges I might have. Since I've removed quite a bit of clay, I'm going to take this off, double check, nice even walls. This one looks good.